Hi there, welcome to Zest React, and today we're checking out Tokyo Revengers Season 2, so let's get into it. Episode 1 of Tokyo Revengers Season 2 starts off pretty tense. We continue from the scene that ended Season 1, to which I thought Kisaki killed Takemichi, but instead it wasn't so. Kazutoro ended up saving Takemichi in that event. This leads to Naoto arresting Takemichi, to which Naoto reveals to Takemichi that he was the one that indirectly ordered the death of Hina in this timeline. You know, honestly, I kind of feel for Takemichi. He does not seem to have a break. 20 plus episodes in Season 1, and my guy still ends up changing nothing. But the good thing is, he's always persevering. With the help of Naoto, he keeps on pushing himself to try and change things for the sake of Hinata and Toma. Takemichi, by the end of the episode, chooses to go back in time and try and save Toman from the influence of the ex-Black Dragon members, and to also prevent Mikey from changing and falling for the influence of Kisaki. In episode 2, we get introduced to Hakkai, who is a future Black Dragon member, and he's a member of Toman. Hakkai turns out to be a very good guy in this past timeline. The two, Hakkai and Takemichi, end up becoming friends in this episode. But by the end of the episode, they get involved with Black Dragon members, and then Taiju, the leader of the Black Dragon, who is also the brother of Hakkai, who apparently loves to beat up people for absolutely nothing. This whole encounter ends up spilling into episode 3, with Taiju forcing Hakkai to beat up Takemichi, but Hakkai does not budge, so Taiju beats the living hell out of Takemichi. Side note, Takemichi is hella weak. We're only 3 episodes in and my guy has been beaten like on 2 different occasions. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There are some animes I watch and I see characters that are so weak and it honestly discourages me from watching it. But Tokyo Revengers is different. Though Takemichi does not have the strength of Mikey, I'm not even sure he can even beat Chifuyu, but that is not Takemichi's strong point. Takemichi makes up on that by the way he affects the story. Basically, all the fighting does not really change anything. The actual person that changes the story and makes the story move forward is Takemichi. In a sense, yes, Takemichi not being strong is a bit annoying, but it doesn't stop the story from moving forward. As episode 3 progresses, Hakkai ends up making a deal with Taiju. He agrees to quit Toman only if Taiju lets Takemichi go. After Takemichi is being let go, the episode leads to Takemichi confessing all his dealings to Shifuyu from all his journeys from the future to past so as to change the events that take place, and also the eventual death of Chifuyu. As oddly as it might be, Chifuyu ends up believing Takemichi, to which they both come up with a plan that does not work out in the end. The plan was to get Hakkai to not quit Toman, so as to stop Hakkai from being the boss of the Black Dragon and consequently killing Taiju. Episode 4 reveals to us the reason behind Hakkai's resolve to kill Taiju. This gets revealed after Mitsuya strikes a deal with Taiju to bring about Yuzuha's freedom. Yuzuha, by the way, is Hakkai's sister, in exchange for Hakkai joining the Black Dragon. We see the resolve of Hakkai when he goes and tells Chifuyu and Takemichi about his plan to kill Taiju. Now, I personally feel that Hakkai's resolve to kill his brother is perfectly justified. I know this is anime and I'm not supposed to get too emotional, but I mean, how sadist can you be to say you love someone and still end up beating that person in the sake of love or making the person get stronger? That was evidently what Taiju was doing to both Yuzuha and Hakkai. Episode 4 also gives us an insight on Mikey's change. Mikey has always been an exquisite character. He's a character that's a bit hard to read. While you might see characters that are easier to read and understand what they might be thinking or how they might feel, Mikey's different. Mikey cares so much about his members and his friends per se. It's kind of like a kid that does dress up with his friends. When one of his friends does not want to play dress up anymore, well, it kind of gets him sad. I feel like that's the way Mikey is. Mikey is more concerned with what's happening with his friends rather than Toman. I think this is where Mikey started to change after the death of Badji. It seems like with the death of Badji, Mikey started being more realistic with how he was approaching Toman, that he can actually lose the people around him. I think that kind of explains why he said, "I've lost sight of where I'm headed with this," when he was speaking to Mitsuya. Episode 4 ends with Takemichi and Chifuyu, to which they make a deal with Hanma and Kisaki to stop Hakkai from killing Taiju on Christmas Day. This leads us into episode 5, to which darker lines become clearer. We get to understand that Kisaki had actually known Hinata and Takemichi in the past, and this kind of explains a lot when we think of what Kisaki meant by my hero in episode 1, which could be related to when Takemichi saves Hinata from a group of bullies. The episode reveals the prophesied date of the 24th of December, to which Takemichi will dump Hinata. This is due to the influence from Hina's father, who feels that Hinata's involvement in the things that Takemichi does might get her hurt or might affect her in the future. Now, while I understand the reason why Takemichi broke up with Hina, I also feel Takemichi did not think this through. Takemichi knows and understands the pain that this will cause for Hina in the future, and him also knowing that the best way to keep Hina safe is not necessarily to keep her far away from him, but it's actually to keep her closer to him so as to keep an eye on her. How does breaking up with her keep her safe? I don't get the logic to this. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. God loves you, and I love you too. Bye bye.